Two North Texas pain management clinics are closed this evening, and the feds are now investigating. WFAA spent much of the summer looking at these exact same clinics. The reason? Accusations of wrongdoing involving opioid prescriptions. We captured video with a hidden camera after an informant came forward. Now, that informant fears retaliation, so we agreed to protect his identity. Charlotte Huffman has this WFAA original.
It's 4:30 a.m. in downtown Dallas, near the homeless shelter called The Bridge. This is the scene at night, a sea of humanity blanketing the sidewalks, huddling on concrete to sleep and stay warm. To many, these are the unfortunate souls society simply can't help. To others, they may be a gold mine. WFAA is shooting video here because our informant says drivers recruit people on these inner city streets. He says drivers target the homeless because they are likely to have a Medicaid ID and a willingness to play along in order to gain cash. See that SUV parked down on the corner? On 4 different occasions from July to October, we recorded drivers like the one inside that SUV spending nearly an hour recruiting the homeless to deliver them to 2 area clinics. Sometimes the drivers took them to this clinic in East Mesquite, DFW Bridge Care Family Medicine. It's now 5:40 in the morning, but look, it's already open for business. Watch now as more than a dozen people file in to see the doctor, one after another after another. Nearby, we find another DFW Bridge Care clinic and another lobby filled with patients. Outside in the parking lot, we find 3 rows of cars filled with people lined up and waiting. In one of these cars, our informant is wearing our hidden camera and captures what's about to happen.
Everybody was getting at the money today.
The hidden camera captures what appears to be a clinic staffer wearing scrubs, walking from car to car, gathering names. Minutes later, our cameras record video of passengers. Their names are called, and they file inside the clinic 4 or 5 at a time. There at the reception desk, that same staffer in scrubs calls the patients in to see the doctor. The doctor is Philip Kelton, a retired cosmetic surgeon.
What are you being seen for today?
Back pain.
Watch as the patient wearing our undercover camera is called in. He says he's been coached by the driver on what to say.
Wait right there. How many pills you taking per day?
A whole bunch, because I was in a car accident just as many as I can get.
3.
Okay. I was in a car accident on the 16th. I've been in an emergency 3 times with this back.
Okay, man. Got your medicine ready.
All right, good deal. Thank you so much, doctor.
See you, pal.
The encounter lasts 22 seconds. It began with the doctor saying, "Wait right there at the door." And after his office visit, our undercover patient says he never actually receives a written prescription or pills. Instead, our undercover video shows his driver gives him $50 cash.
Why don't you give me a whole stack right there?
Our I-team went to both clinics to ask questions. At one location, the clinic staffer can be seen hustling away from the clinic. At the other location, staff allows us inside. We see dozens of patients waiting, so we ask them to name the doctor they had come to see. Several are unable or unwilling to do so.
How'd you guys hear about this place?
I'm brought somebody up here.
I'm waiting on somebody.
You're waiting on somebody.
We are taken to the doctor's office. Minutes later,
Hi, doctor. Dr. Kelton.
it's the same doctor seen by our undercover informant. Our producer starts asking questions.
We had some questions about the legitimacy of the operation here.
Dr. Kelton says he sees about 30 patients a day with chronic pain in each of the 2 clinics. The same clinics we've recorded SUVs delivering patients.
And we give them a certain number of pills. 3 per day is the standard. Hopefully get less, but generally.
So about 90
per month.
90 per month
but
is the standard.
Generally speaking, it's 90 per month.
What's sort of the prescription level usually with the people with the chronic pain? What do you prescribe to them?
It's Narco. It's a 10 milligram hydrocodone pill.
Dr. Kelton tells us he's unaware of any cash possibly being exchanged for prescriptions.
You're aware of pill
No, I am not aware that somebody is paying somebody $50 to come in and get pills. Not know one thing about that.
How long do you, when you see all these patients, about how much time do you spend with them? To make an
It'll vary,
assessment.
but it'll be a short time.
Very short.
Yeah, pretty short. Minute or so, minute and a half.
Minute and a half, and you can make an assessment on an opioid prescription on that?
Sure,
Really? Without doing any kind of checkup on them at all?
sure.
Do you think that's standard medical procedure?
I think it is for this particular practice, yes, this sort of circumstance I do.
But when you're prescribing opioids, isn't that a big deal nowadays?
What a big deal.
There are pill mills out there, doctor. Is that a concern that you might be operating a pill mill?
Sure.
When asked about his patients,
Where are these people coming from, doctor?
Not sure. Don't know. Don't ask, really.
You don't ask? You don't know your patients?
Well, I know basically what's wrong with them, but I don't know where they live or what their family circumstance is.
we showed what we'd seen to a former prosecutor.
What we don't see in these particular videos is any type of real doctor-patient relationship.
Matt Orwig is the former U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Texas. He has experience prosecuting medical fraud cases. He's concerned the standard of care spelled out in strict new federal and state regulations is not being followed.
As far as I can tell, there's no discussion of symptoms, there's no discussion of a need, there's no discussion of medical symptoms, there's no medical discussion whatsoever.
In fact, a local clinic operator was sentenced to prison just last year for operating a pill mill by recruiting the homeless to pose as patients. They were paid a fee, such as $30. Drivers also were paid and coached the recruit on what to say inside the clinic to obtain the prescription. Both Bridge Care Family Medicine clinics are now under investigation by the DEA and the Texas Medical Board. When we returned to the clinics last month, both were closed. Dr. Kelton's attorney maintains his client did nothing wrong, saying the doctor had no ownership of the clinics and was instead a contract employee. Again, our investigation was unable to determine where exactly the pills end up, but we do know where many of the patients end up. Back here on the streets. Our informant says he would know. He is one of them. Charlotte Huffman, Channel 8 News.
As you saw there, many of these stories start with you. If you have something you'd like our investigative team to look into, you can send them your tips. Here's their email address right here on your screen, investigates@wfaa.com.